So we reckon hypocrite is actually a bit of a strong word. It has a lot of negative connotations. We like to think of it as taking Christian shortcuts.
Yeah, or maybe not quite being Jesus. So here are our top 10 tips to keep that plant growing.
Tip number 1, talk about the importance of community, then switch between the churches with the best worship, preaching, and hot singles. If you ask me, I think church should be free of awkward conversations, cringy worship, and dull preaching. Church hopping is the ultimate way to get the best of everything, whilst avoiding accountability and commitment.
Now, it's important to know that God created this world and cares for it deeply, but surely we can still litter. I mean, littering isn't really that big of a deal. God's going to create a new heaven and a new earth anyway, so why not speed things up a little? We all know that Christians who believe that we should care for the environment are just hippies straying from the gospel.
Jesus says what we do for the least among us we're doing for him, but for tip number 3, we prefer to avoid situations where we might be forced to mingle with people we would consider different, unusual, or weird. For example, homeless people. Yeah, you may want to make sure they're taken care of, but do you really have to get close to them? No, you can just give your money to an organisation like City Mission, they'll do the gross stuff, problem solved.
As Christians, it's important to respect others' beliefs, but we know that some people are clearly wrong and misguided. So for step number 4, we recommend that you shun people who hold opposing religious views. For example, this man claims there is no heaven, no hell, and no Trinity. Therefore, we must avoid him and his heretical teaching.
For step number 5, you could take this one a little further, and rather than just shunning people, you could also criticise them behind their backs. This doesn't have to be limited to people with different religious views. Why not go to town and gossip about people who vote differently to you as well? Because we all know Jesus would vote National.
As we grow in Christ, we should seek to help others deepen their faith. But for step number 6, we think that once you've got your own faith sorted, you can stop worrying about anyone else's. A model example is Richard Zimley. He's a bit of a champ. He volunteered to lead the Salt and Light Bible study, then went to go see Transformers 3 with his girlfriend.
As young adults, it is essential that we're good role models for the next generation, but that can be pretty boring. So step 7, be a badass. Do all the things you'd wish you'd done when you were that age. Excessive drinking, swearing in front of parents, and when a preacher says something ambiguous, remark, "That's what she said."
Okay. When it comes to preaching, it's important to focus on the message and not the messenger. But it's totally acceptable to tune out if the preacher is from a Pentecostal church. We can sum up every Pentecostal message for you in a few words. Come to the front, just have faith, give us 10%.
Accountability is crucial in your Christian walk, but isn't always that pleasant. So for step number 9, keep your faults hidden by highlighting someone else's. When you spot people's faults, make sure you point them out to as many church leaders as possible. And that way, nobody will notice your tendency to gossip.
Finally, we must have some sound theology and good knowledge of the Bible. Now, doing this, there's a bonus. You can justify almost any behaviour by using obscure Bible verses. Here's one for the boys. If you get married and things are a bit lackluster, just get yourself another wife. Exodus 21:10 says, if he marries another woman, he must not deprive the first one of her food, clothing, and marital rights. So as long as you do these things, you're pretty much set.
So follow these top 10 tips and your plank will be the envy of all your friends.
That's what she said.